Y'all need to start reading the source material when it comes to things like movies, TV, and other forms of pop culture. Because a lot of people talk on subjects they have no clue about. I got the idea to make this video because of a character that has a recent surge in popularity, Cyclops. There's a lot of posts going on right now about Cyclops saying that, oh, I didn't know he was so badass. I didn't know that he was so cool. Fox really did him dirty. But, you know, he's always been like that. If you've never read a comic, it's probably new to you, but what people don't realize is Cyclops is basically the Captain America of the X-Men, but more angry and more pissed off. Cyclops has always been cold, but we don't know that because Fox made him an emotional lover boy. Another thing Fox did is made people think Cyclops' powers is a laser beam. It's not a laser beam. It's not Superman's heat vision. It doesn't melt stuff. It doesn't cut like a lightsaber. It's an optic blast. And I know it sounds corny, but that's what it is. One time when I was watching a movie, I asked my dad why Cyclops is so whack, and he said that's because the movies make him whack. And then he explained what his power really is. The way that he explained it is that his power is more like a punch. It's more like getting hit by like 10 times the power of Mike Tyson. And I'm really glad the creators of the show know what they're talking about. I heard they reference Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which is like the most fun game ever. And Cyclops is like the most fun character to play in that game, which is why he's moving like the way he is in the show. Probably the best example of people not reading the source material is Spider-Man himself. I would say like maybe 70% of Spider-Man fans have absolutely no idea what they're talking about. And that's because the Sam Raimi movies changed everyone's perspective of not only Spider-Man, but more importantly, Peter Parker. Anything that came after the Sam Raimi movies was automatically compared to the Sam Raimi movies. Unfortunately, for the general public, that became the template. Not that they're bad or anything, besides Spider-Verse, I think those are the best Spider-Man movies, hands down. But Peter Parker was never soft. He was not an angel, and he didn't let shit like this happen to him.
Isn't that right? Huh? Isn't that right? Huh, brother?
Comic book Peter Parker has literally hopped in a boxing ring with Flash, ready to scrap. And some might say, yeah, Toby was always ready to scrap, but no, not really. You know who was? Andrew Garfield.
Come on, man. Why did you take it from me?
The only thing that held Peter back before he got his powers was him knowing that he would lose. Yes, Peter was a genius, but he wasn't a goody two-shoes. He was hot-headed, he was a smartass, and he had a big ego. Like Andrew's Peter Parker. Not like your angel baby Toby. And definitely not like the crybaby Holland. I can't stress this enough. I hate seeing that bullshit-ass line, Toby is the best Peter, Andrew's the best Spider-Man, and Tom Holland's the best of both worlds. Oh my goodness, that is not true. Like, who the fuck came up with that? Some critic who didn't know who Spider-Man was until Civil War? Like, yes, the Sam Raimi movies were good. Tobey Maguire was a good Spider-Man, but don't forget, Raimi had y'all thinking web shooting was one of Spider-Man's powers. No, it wasn't. I have way too much to say on the topic of Spider-Man, but for now, I'm gonna leave that for another video. But another case that's not as serious is Ron from Harry Potter. One of the first things that stood out to me when reading the Harry Potter books was, oh, Ron's not an idiot, and he wasn't only created for comedic relief. When watching the movies, people forget that out of the trio, Ron is the only one that has actually experienced the wizarding world. Out of the three of them, he's the one who knows the most about wizards. He's actually lived it. Hermione's read about it and Harry had no idea about it, so Ron knows the most about the wizarding world. He has street knowledge. So to give a line like this to Hermione...
What's a mudblood?
It means dirty blood. Mudblood's a really foul name for someone who is muggle-born, someone with non-magic parents. Someone like me.
Doesn't make sense and is an injustice to Ron. Hermione has the book knowledge and Harry just be chilling. But actually, he's another one. In the movies, he's more calm and more like an angel. But in the books, he's like also hot-headed, a smartass, and sometimes he doesn't listen to anybody. The whole fifth book was him not listening to anybody, and by the end, it led to Sirius's death. I actually have another misunderstood superhero, the man of all heroes, Superman. When you ask someone who doesn't like Superman why they don't like Superman, they always say, oh, he's boring and too OP. I'm not gonna lie, like Cyclops, I was a culprit of this too, but then I decided to read because I had a feeling that wasn't true. And I discovered that Superman isn't so bad. He grew up a human on Earth. He has feelings. He's not just a brainless alien like Zack Snyder made him in Man of Steel.
What is it you want?
I would like to speak to Lois Lane.
What makes you think she's here?
Don't play games with me, General. I'll surrender.
He's more human than he is Kryptonian or alien. He's basically a human who just happens to have superpowers. Overall, I feel like people should just read more instead of making dumbass posts or comments like this. Like, things like the MCU really made y'all forget how strong some of these characters really are. Like, the posts I see about Hulk now are insane. Like, people are starting to think Hulk is just an above average human. No, y'all have not seen what Hulk is. Hulk is insane. This man can carry islands. But again, just try to read some things here and there. What I found when I started reading some of them is that even the old ones aren't that bad. Like Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man comics are really not that bad. They're short, they may be a little outdated, but I feel like they still hold up today. And I feel like you can't make the excuse that these things are hard to access because there's the internet. There's a lot of free things out there. Not that you're supposed to be using it, but if you really want to get into it, you just gotta search a little. Well, that's all I gotta say. Just read a little bit more.